Hi everyone, so as you know, I'm doing these videos talking about different relationship dilemmas or topics, and this one is interesting because this comes up for a lot of people. And the question I want to answer in this video is some of the difficulties or challenges when you're in a relationship with a people pleaser. So a people pleaser is someone who will put needs of others before themselves, and the reason behind that is usually they want to be liked, they have a fear of rejection, they want to seek approval. Now, this can cause issues for the people pleaser because they never put themselves first. They sometimes will overextend to care for other people. They will burn out a lot. But when you're in a relationship with someone like that, it can cause extra difficulties mainly because of them making decisions. So if you're in a relationship with a people pleaser, and I'll give a good example of something, this is not anything that has actually happened, but this is just a hypothetical example. So you're in a relationship with someone and that person has always been the main carer for their family. They might have parents who live abroad, so they've always financially cared for them. They might have siblings who live in the same country, and they might have been the one who's always been looking after them, either financially, emotionally, and all the rest of it. They meet you and you have your own plans of what you want to do as a couple. Maybe you want to get married, maybe you want to move in together, maybe you want to have children. But if this person is a people pleaser, some of those things that you want as a couple might be put on hold or might be difficult because that person might say, well, if we move into our own house, I'm going to have less money, and that money has to go towards my parents, because if it doesn't, then that means there's no one else that can care for them. That means they're not going to love me. So that might be one thing. Then the children thing, maybe something will come up where this person says, if I have children, then they know for a fact that they're going to be financially responsible for them, and then that's going to mean maybe they're not going to be able to continue to give money to their siblings. So they won't say that out loud to you. They'll probably keep putting it off, or they'll probably keep making excuses, or they'll probably find ways of saying, oh, well, why don't we do this instead? But deep down, that would be the reason. So if you're dating that's one example, but there's loads of other examples of just this person not being able to say no, not keeping boundaries with other people, which then impacts on your relationship. It can be things like, on Valentine's Day, because they've promised to do something else, that will mean that you guys can't have your date night together. And over time, if you're involved with someone like that, at first you might see it as being a nice thing. You might say, oh, I love how caring my partner is. I love how they're always putting other people first. I love all these, like how kind they are. But over time, it can actually destroy a relationship, because if someone is always putting other people first, and not because they want to, but sometimes because they feel they have to, because there's a fear of not putting people first, it can impact on your relationship because they're never there for you. They're never putting enough to themselves either. So it can be challenging, but it can be overcome. The first step has to be that person has to recognize they're a people pleaser. The next step, they have to identify what it would feel like to do things differently, and there might be consequences to that, but they must be willing to take those consequences. And the third thing is they need to start pouring into their cup, into themselves, into the relationship, and that would mean through action, not through just saying that. So it is tricky, because this is what that person, how they identify this is who they are. So if you were to just strip that away from them by saying, don't go to your parents' house every week, spend the weekend, spend the time with us, don't give all that money to this person, put it into our relationship. You can't do it in that way, because they're going to think, well, how dare you say that to me, and oh, you're stripping a part of who I am. It has to start with them identifying that they can't give to everyone, and they can't. Being a people pleaser, you're never going to win. So yeah, it's a tricky one. I'll probably make more videos about this in general. I think I've already made a video called being a people pleaser as well, so you can check that out. Thanks for watching. Bye.